Welcome back to the Ross Bolin podcast, presented by Bolin Media. I am Ross Bolin here with criminal Kade Orris. Kade, how you doing?
I've been better. I started off the day pretty well, although I didn't go for my morning walk. I still felt pretty good. And then I got some mail today, and things quickly turned a turn.
Yeah, criminal Kade, we have to talk about this seemingly bogus ticket you received in the mail, and I should admit up top, that ticket was in my work bag for over a month.
Okay.
Because I accidentally grabbed 2 pieces of your mail. Hopefully the other envelope didn't also contain like some kind of fine.
Yeah, that was actually a wedding invitation.
It kind of looked like a wedding invitation.
Yeah, and it said like on the RSVP by October 19th. Clearly, we are past that date. So I was a little confused. I'm like, did it just like get lost in the shuffle of everything? I mean, I'm already RSVP'd. Like my parents did it already because they're going. But like, I was like, all right, that's a little strange.
Okay,
so I didn't
good.
know
so
that.
you're still.
Yeah, I'm still good to go.
Okay, yeah. So I have this bad habit now where I take my mail. Mm-hmm. You know, I get mail at home and I get mail at the office, and I stick it all in my bag, and I let it accumulate for usually around a month.
Yeah.
Until I get a sense of anxiety about it. And then I spend like an hour going through it. So yesterday I did my monthly mail catch up.
Okay.
And as I was going, first of all, I found one thing from the IRS that I was like, oh, this is important. I wish I had opened this sooner. And then I found 2 pieces of Kade's mail, one of which looked like a wedding invitation. I was like, please God, let this be something that works out. So I'm glad that the wedding thing is fine.
See, I usually like try to grab the mail in the morning, like, and then like I'll like separate it for you, so I'll like have my shit. And usually it's just like, oh, sign up for a credit card, just like random bullshit.
Yeah, we get a bunch of spam mail.
Yeah, and then like whatever is like for you or just like someone that isn't me, I just give it to you. I was like, you can deal with it.
It must have been a day I grabbed it all,
Yeah.
and I went through it and just like somehow did not catch that there were 2 things in there for you. So yeah, that's my bad. And also up top, part of the reason I want to talk about this today is because I'm genuinely curious if anyone else has experienced what Kade is currently going through. Like if this has happened to anyone else, because it has to be a thing. It has to be. There's no way. I have never seen it before, and I'm very skeptical about the legality of the entire situation. Like I've gotten a ticket for running a red light before from the red light camera. Right. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that's a thing. Mm-hmm. It exists in most major cities. Like in Houston, where I'm from, they have those cameras up everywhere, but a lot of them are actually not operational. It's just for the effect.
Yeah.
Like if you know there's a camera, you're not going to blow through the light because you'll get a ticket in the mail.
That hasn't stopped me sometimes. Like I've definitely like gone like when it's like,
oh, I've gone through a hell of a lot of red lights in Austin.
Yeah.
Regardless of if the camera was, I don't even care. I don't look. But
Yeah.
Point is, I'm aware of that technology. I know it exists, but this is an entirely different situation. Like before he even explains it to us, I have told Kade straight up, do not pay this ticket. This strikes me as what is known as the bullshit. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's legit. So, Kade, tell us what you received in the mail. Describe this to us.
I get the piece of mail. It's at the top. It says from Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson LLP, attorneys at law.
So some law firm,
right?
All right. It's not from the city of Austin.
Nope. In San Antonio too, by the way.
Okay.
This is, I guess, where their office is located, and it has the date September 11th, 2024 on it.
Right.
So again, maybe
a month and 20 days ago. Yeah.
And then the next thing it says is second notice of unpaid civil penalty.
And you never got the first notice.
I don't remember getting the first notice.
And just for the record, I want this on the record. I did not receive the first notice either. Okay. So that makes it even weirder. It says it's the second notice.
Even though I don't think I got a first. And then it says, Dear Kade William, my middle name, and Andrew J. Orris, my dad's name.
Okay.
So for my car, like when I got it, my dad had to like co-sign it.
Yeah, every car I've had prior to the Tesla, same situation. Yeah.
So that was weird that like both our names are attached to it, but because
it's because of the pink slip. Yeah.
It says the unpaid civil penalty listed below was imposed against you by the Austin ISD and has been referred to our firm for collection.
Okay, so pause there. Austin ISD, the Independent School District.
Yeah.
And what it also lists, you don't have to read the whole fucking
Okay,
thing,
all right.
because I don't know what kind of personal information is on there either, but what it ends up doing is directing you to a website. Will you read the website to us?
www.violationinfo.com.
Violationinfo.com, which when you go to it, which I'm doing again right now just so I can reference it, it is like not super clear if this is legit.
Right.
Like it's like, safety is in everyone's best interest. According to the National Safety Council, there were more than 40,000 traffic-related fatalities, blah, 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 more stats on traffic wrecks, etc., and so on. And then there's 3 options. View, where you can review your violation images and video, plus get additional information. Or you can pay, view all payment methods, pay online, anytime, anywhere. And then the third option is to be on your way. And when Kade types in the information provided on this piece of mail he received.
Yeah, you give like the notice number and the pen, and then like it pulls up
video footage.
Yeah.
And in this
like,
case,
yeah, and so like the violation that it said I did was I failed to like stop or behind a school bus when they had like the stop sign out. Yeah.
Right. He watches the video and lets me see it, and it's not at all what I thought it would be.
Right.
Like, I thought it was like a school bus probably in the Bowling Media neighborhood that you like went around when it had its stop sign out, which is a thing that people do sometimes. You're not supposed to, but like that's typically when you run into these situations in neighborhoods where they're like stopping to drop kids off. This is in the middle of a fucking busy street where Kade is in like the middle lane.
I think it's like on William Cannon. I think that's where it was. If I'm not mistaken.
Which is just a traffic street. It's not a neighborhood. It's not residential.
No.
And the school bus in question is one lane over in the far right lane. And the fucking video is hilarious because as like the stop sign starts to come out, you see Kade pass it. Like driving past. Basically what I'm saying is, to my non-police eye, he didn't actually do anything wrong. The stop sign's opening as he's passing the bus. So
there's not like
enough
time for me to like stop.
React.
Yeah.
Right. And
like I'm already like right there on it.
And you're approaching a red light anyway. So it's like, oh, fuck it. I'll just go
there's a
up to
car
this.
like right in front of like the school bus, like where I would stop. Like I'd be like right next to the school bus.
Right.
Essentially.
Right. And there's nowhere for him to go. There's nowhere for the bus to go. The stop sign's not even all the way out yet as he's approaching it. So what I was saying to him, I'm, again, not a lawyer, not legal advice, but if this was a typical traffic ticket, like from the city or the Austin Police Department, APD, I'm almost certain you would go to court and protest the ticket. They would review the footage and be like, okay, yeah, that wasn't fair, and throw it out. But because it's not from the city and it's not from APD, I don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do because it's like some random law firm, and it's for what, $350?
Yeah, $325. That's how much I pay for my car payment a month.
$325.
That's
for
insane.
This and the craziest thing to me, the camera footage is from the bus.
Yeah, didn't know they had that on the.
Had no
bus
clue that was a
anymore.
thing.
Yeah.
So there's a fucking camera on the bus that I guess is activated every time the stop sign is activated.
Or maybe it's just like on all the time.
Possibly, but it seems like a power issue.
I don't know.
Battery issue. Anyway, it turns on, and I guess point being, this is a piece of mail that personally I would tear in half, throw into the recycling bin, and move on from, and never worry about it again. But that's just my personal way I would handle it. I have no idea what you're supposed to do here.
It says I have to pay it by April 30th, or else I get sent to collections or something like that.
Yeah, but that's one of the things. So when I was looking this up, I started Googling around about violationinfo.com because I was like, okay, surely people bitch about this. There's like a Reddit thread, and one of the things the Reddit thread said, which doesn't mean it's true, but it does say that these do not go to collection agencies. Like your typical ticket, if it goes unpaid, it eventually dings your credit. Apparently that's not the case with these. But I've never received a fine from like a third-party entity. First of all, everyone knows I've never gotten even a speeding ticket. I'm a flawless driver. And how many years have I've been driving now? I'm 37, so like 20 years, 21 years. Never gotten a speeding ticket. Don't bring up the DWI from college. It doesn't count. But never gotten a speeding ticket, so I don't even really know like how that works in the first place. The only thing I've ever paid was the one time I got one of these running a red light camera tickets or whatever, and they have like a picture of my dumb ass. And at that point, I was driving to Tahoe, and I'm like blowing through this fucking red light. But I was sober, just for the record. Anyway, I don't know, man. I've never seen that before. I did not know that was a thing.
And like, again, I went to that Reddit thread too, and like they were saying like, oh, they do it so like, you know, like this company can get a cut of the ticket too, which is fucking bullshit.
That's insane.
I'm not giving you fucking money.
Who are these people?
Who the fuck are you? Linebarger, Gobbin, Blair, and Sampson.
This isn't the government. You don't owe these people anything. I wouldn't. There's no way I would pay this. But I'm curious if anybody else in the RBP gang has dealt with a ticket like this. And I'm doing air quotes around ticket because I don't even count it as a ticket. It's fucking craziness.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, if I have to go to court and, like, you know, prove that, like, this is bullshit, like, I will, but, like...
Yeah, but that's such a huge energy. That's what they're counting on, is that you won't want to deal with it, so you'll just pay it.
Yeah. But
that's probably what most people
I need
do.
my money. I want my money. I'm not giving my money unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah, fuck that. No, I would not pay it, dude. And especially because, in this instance, I don't think you did anything wrong.
Yeah.
If the situation had been different in the camera footage we pull up, is
like I just like fucking
blowing by a
past.
bus that has like kids emptying out of it, I'd be like, all right, kid, you should probably
fucked up. Yeah,
but even then, I'd still be like, but I don't know who these people are you're paying.
Yeah,
like what the fuck? Just weird, man. Really, really weird.
Yeah, and like you pay it through their site, not to the government or whoever the fuck. Like
violationinfo.com, dude.
Yeah,
really. And they made it so that this website is like intentionally confusing too. Like you can't look into it much.
Right.
Like it says get more information, but you can't really get more information unless you have a notice number and a pen, which is provided on the piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So weird
wild
stuff.
Did not need that to start my day.
That's why I tried to spare you from this pain and frustration by keeping your mail
thank you.
For a month and a half. I wanted to wait until you were doing morning walks so you'd be in a better place to handle it mentally.
Mood, yeah.
But it backfired.
No, it didn't work. Well, I guess I didn't go for my morning walk, so maybe I would have taken it a little easier if I did. But yeah. Oh, it's just fucking stressful, man. I didn't need that.
It's weird.
Really
weird.
really
strange.
Yeah, and I think it said like on the website or whatever that like I have until the end of April to pay for it. So I guess we'll see what happens then.
Yeah, if you have to pay it, at least that gives you time to do a couple stripper Kade outings.
Right, yeah, dude. I'm gonna need
get some extra
hit with the boy CJ. I'm like, dude, I need some work ASAP. I got this bullshit violation ticket that I need to pay.
A school bus gave you a ticket, dude.
Yeah,
a school bus.
Fucking crazy.
It makes me wonder if this is part of like the effort to bring down the police budget. Because now they've just got school buses giving out tickets to people with a third-party fucking law firm
making
handling
like
the collections.
arrests and stuff like that.
Weird shit, man.
Crazy.
All right, well, good luck dealing with that. And if you're listening or watching and you've dealt with something similar or this exact situation, at Kade Orris on social media, and then Kade, you'll have to give us an update when you figure out more, because I'm very curious to see how this pans out. Yeah. I'm 3 deep on FitBod workouts already this week, Kade. Absolutely crushing it. Nobody can stop me from getting huge. If you're looking for a new fitness routine to get huge or just get in shape, today's sponsor, FitBod, is your personal trainer in your pocket. From a core that won't quit to arms worth flexing, FitBod is the perfect companion to keep your exercises fresh and yourself accountable. With your personal goals in focus, FitBod customizes every workout and adapts as you improve to avoid plateaus on your journey. Whether you are a seasoned gym goer or just starting your fitness journey, FitBod is right for you. I've done over 230 FitBod workouts in the past couple years. They're phenomenal. It's catered to you. So like if they give you a workout that you don't want to do, like recently they tried to get me to do handstand push-ups and I was like, nah, I'm 37 and I'm alone in my garage. I don't want to die. So you just switch it out for something else that hits the same muscles. It's super easy. The app also provides you with videos from multiple angles of an expert doing each exercise so you can see exactly how it's done. It has a text description as well, just so you can make sure you fully understand what the movement entails. And before I started using Fitbod, I did the exact same workouts every time I worked out for years, and that mundane repetition wasn't really doing anything for my body. I plateaued very hard. Since I started using Fitbod, though, I've transformed my body, added over 20 pounds of muscle. Can honestly say I'm in the best shape of my life. Plus, I've completely avoided dad bod through the first couple years of being a dad here, which is huge. Fitbod is the future. It has everything you wish those other apps had. It's honestly been one of the most positive additions I've ever made to my life. Maybe my favorite sponsor this show has ever had. Fitbod is an essential part of my life, no exaggeration. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan and get 25% off your subscription, or try the app free at fitbod.me/Ross. That's fitbod.me/ROSS. You can find the link and the details in the description of this episode. But even if you're like, I don't know, man, I don't want to do another subscription, I think they give you like 3 or 4 free workouts that you can do so you can see exactly how the app works and how awesome it is when you go to fitbod.me/Ross, and then you get 25% off your subscription if you do indeed decide to get a subscription. So go check it out today. It's, like I said, it's my go-to every week, big part of my routine. Love me some Fitbod. I've addressed this before on the show, and I've tweeted about it that I think the Costco guys and the Rizzler are the lowest form of content. Actually, this is my exact tweet. I hate all y'all who made the Rizzler and Costco guys famous. Fuck you for doing this to our feeds. This content is dog shit.
We do this too often with the Costco guys, Hawk 2, just like all these people that like don't need to be famous, but we keep talking about them.
Yeah.
And
it makes it worse.
Yeah. And like no like hate to like them specifically, because like they're just like doing their own thing.
It's our fault.
Yeah, it's not their fault. It's ours for giving them this spotlight.
But at least with Hawk Tua, like I get it. Like a semi-attractive college girl talking about spitting on pole. A lot of dudes are going to sign up for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I get it to a certain extent. I don't get her then launching a podcast and having like celebrities on it, but it's neither here nor there. To your point, Kade, yeah, in America, we specialize in this shit. It started with the Kardashians, and then once people figured out you didn't even need to have any talent or do anything of meaning to become famous, it's just been a fucking free-for-all. But this shit, I cannot tell you how many videos I've been forced to watch. Like,
dude, it seems to be getting worse.
It's just these fucking guys in a Costco reviewing Costco cookies and bread and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is even happening in their rating system? For those of you who are unfamiliar, is boom. So however many booms you get is how good the product is. I think is the way it works. But they look like a chubby Northeastern family.
Yeah, aren't they from Jersey?
And then one of the kids, the Rizzler, he's not even related to them.
Oh, he's not?
No, they just fucking like kidnapped this random fucking fat kid, and now he's part of the show, and I don't know what the fuck is going on there. But these cheese clown balls are all over my damn Twitter every single day, man. I cannot avoid them. They have not really infiltrated my Instagram, which I'm very happy about, but like Twitter, it gives you a lot of shit that you hate.
Yeah.
Twitter, it like recognizes your rage, and then it's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, give that guy more.
See, that's
Costco
why
guys.
I'm back off Twitter again. Well, I'm like on and off. Like I just go on there to tweet, and that's
bounce.
it. And I'm
That's
out.
the way to use it. Yeah, because the second you start scrolling, one of these fuckers shows up.
Yeah, it makes me want to die.
And starts doing
all the
booms, and it's just hell. So last night, the Costco guys, which is, if I'm correct in my remembering, AJ and Big Justice. And I think Big Justice is the dad, the father of AJ. And then the Rizzler, who is this, again, random child that they fucking just somehow decided to incorporate. They were on Jimmy Fallon, which is a big deal.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Most like famous celebrities are on the late night talk show
it's usually
hosts.
like Matthew McConaughey has a new movie coming out, so he's on Fallon doing jokes for a few minutes.
Tyler has a new album. He's going to talk about that.
Right, yeah. And like, it's usually A-listers.
Right.
And that's how big these three fuckers have gotten, man. They did like an intro at like World Series Game 1 or Game 3 for the Yankees.
Yeah. Weren't they at College Game Day too recently?
Oh God, were they?
I want to say yeah.
It's possible.
But, like
They're everywhere.
Right.
They've been everywhere. They've exploded over the past couple of
They're
months.
just bringing the boom.
Just booming all over the place and fucking just like housing Costco cookies and then rating them. And so they were on Jimmy Fallon last night. And like Jimmy Fallon, I don't really know what to make of Jimmy Fallon anymore. I've gone through periods where I was a big fan of Jimmy Fallon and I've hated him at other points. But last night, more than any other night ever, I identified with Jimmy Fallon because Jimmy looked like he wanted to commit suicide the entire time they were on stage with him. Like you could tell some producer or whoever his like talent
like
scout
who
is,
signed off on this, because it didn't seem like he wanted anything to do with it.
It did not work out. It did not go well. He was very clearly disgruntled, Jimmy Fallon, the entire time they were up there, and they kept like trying to do more booms.
Yeah.
They'd be like 5 booms. Boom, boom, and he was like, "All right, we get it. Please stop, please. I'm gonna kill myself up here." But, yeah, it was something to behold. Like I can't imagine. Like, look, the Costco guys and the Rizzler belong on shows like ours, right? Small time podcasts that are just trying to make it. Jimmy Fallon working for 30 years or whatever to like get his career to this point, rising to the top of the entertainment world, having a cameo in Band of Brothers, getting his own talk show, and then being forced to interview the Costco guys and the Rizzler was just wrong. And I still can't believe it was a real thing. It looked like an SNL sketch, which ironically Jimmy Fallon was on for years. But yeah, I'm hoping that was it, the pinnacle, the peak. Like there's nowhere else to go now.
No, they've done it all. And unless they start getting into like movie and TV.
I don't think they can do like a reality show. These fuckers have one.
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They've only got one.
They try to do it with Hot Tua. They try to get her to a reality TV show.
Why? Okay, Costco guys suck. We've said that. Rating Costco foods with booms is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What is the deal with the Rizzler? He rubs his chin and then like touches his fucking ears or something. What is this?
What's his deal? I don't know.
He's like a 12-year-old. What could he possibly be rizzing up in the first place? I don't even know how to begin to process what the deal is with that character. Mm-hmm. But there's just not that much to go off of here.
Yeah. That's what did he like even talk about in this interview? Like again, like yeah, there's nothing.
It was basically him asking
substance.
Jimmy Fallon, being like, "So what? Who are you people? And what do you do? And why is this one kid not even related to you?"
Yeah, and isn't it past your bedtime? Like it's on at like 11 or midnight or some shit. Like,
and all of them need Fitbod.
Yeah.
They need to use fitbod.me/Ross because there's too many cookies have been eaten, too many booms have been handed out.
Too many Costco
One
cookies.
of the questions, Jimmy was like, "How many booms do you think you've done?" Which just, again, you could tell he was like, "I can't believe I'm even having to say this."
Why am I asking this?
And AJ was like, "I don't know, like 1,000? 100,000?" Jimmy was like, 100,000 booms. Wow. Yeah. So it was not a high point for Jimmy Fallon's career or in the history of late night. It was probably one of the worst celebrity interviews I've ever seen.
It sucks that like they get called celebrities now too.
Yeah.
Like that's where we're
The clips are gold though. If you see him on social media, be sure to give him a watch because they usually like zoom in on Jimmy Fallon's face, and he genuinely looks like somebody who's ready.
Yeah, he was hoping someone would bring the boom and just like blow up that set.
End it all. Boom him out of his existence.
He's gonna fucking turn into the Joker there.
Yeah, I did see a lot of the clips of people wishing that it would have been a reverse Joker situation because you know how in the Joker he shoots Robert De Niro, who's the talk show host. They wanted Jimmy to murder the Costco guys and the Rizzler, which I'm not condoning that.
That's a little too.
I'm not condoning that, but somebody has to do something about this. Not murder, no violence, but. Jesus, if there was ever a group that you looked at and said, like, surely something will get revealed, like racist or sexist that these dudes have done in the past so that they'll get canceled, you would think it would be these fuckers, but they're still going strong. And if I'm not mistaken, Big Justice, the head of this whole thing, the grown man who rolls around with these chubby children that he forces to do food reviews and shit, I'm pretty sure he's a wrestler and he's trying to become like a professional. Like, I think his end game is like the WWE.
Oh, okay.
Like that's where he's
trying
to
get. He's past that.
And the kids can't go with you.
No.
There's no children in the WWE.
No, they don't have a WWE Kids.
No, it's a violent, fucked up world, that WWE stuff. So I don't know, man. I'm hoping that was the height of it and it like slowly booms into the distance because I can't take it anymore. And neither can Jimmy Fallon. He's at the end of his rope.
No.
I've got an insane headline of the day. Police recover more than 40,000 stolen Bluey coins. Kade, are you familiar with Bluey? I brought it up to you, I guess.
You brought it up, but like I've never like watched an episode because I don't have kids.
Yeah, it's a kids thing. It's an animated show for kids. It's made in Australia.
Okay.
Australia. Actually, I think it's partially funded by the Australian government, if I'm not mistaken. Like at the end of every episode, there's a quick like 20 seconds worth of credits, and the last screen has like the Australian government seal, and it says like, I think it's like a government-funded TV show.
Interesting.
Which you think would make it suck.
Yeah.
Apparently, the Australian government is better at entertainment than the American government because it's not. It doesn't suck at all.
Yeah, no, they have stuff like Blue, and we have the Costco guys and the Rizzler.
Yeah, we
for
suck.
entertainment.
But it is the GOAT children's programming, even above Miss Rachel, because it is equally entertaining for parents to watch.
Even above Blippi?
Definitely above Blippi.
Okay.
Blippi is so bad. Especially now that he's fucking,
not even in it.
He cashed out, and it's some imposter Blippi who shows up. Like Miss Rachel.
Blippi?
Miss Rachel did a collab episode with like some British fairy woman who's like she must like be the Miss Rachel of England. and then Blippi, and it was like the imposter Blippi. And I watched that on vacation with my kids, and I wanted that. I was like Jimmy Fallon with the fucking Costco guys and the Rizzler. I was like, this can't be life. But yeah, Bluey is legit. Like it'll tug on your heartstrings. I've cried during several different episodes of Bluey. I'm not ashamed to say. Some of them will like sneak up on you. It's like that, like Pixar, like Toy Story level of humor where like there's jokes that as a kid you don't even fucking process. They don't even register for you because they're for the adults.
Just to keep the adults entertained as well. Keep them intrigued.
Bluey does a fantastic job of that. But yeah, so this story from the BBC, it says, police in Australia say they have recovered around 40,000 limited edition coins based on the hit children's television show Bluey. It was reported in July that 63,000 of the coins produced by the Australian Mint, which is, again, government, had been stolen from a warehouse in Western Sydney about 2 months before they were due to enter circulation. Authorities recovered 40,061 coins on Tuesday after a raid on a property about 6 miles from the storage facility. Well, they didn't fucking go very far after stealing it.
Yeah, what?
It says earlier that day, 27-year-old Christina Vale had been arrested and charged with breaking and entering and disposing of stolen property. She was the third person arrested over the alleged theft. The coins, which are worth like 65 cents each, were stolen 2 months before their planned release. New South Wales police said they had previously been selling online for 10 times their face value. Shortly after the theft was reported, police in the state of New South Wales launched a special investigation into the incident, codenamed Strike Force Bandit. Bandit
is that a name?
Is Bluey's dad.
Oh, okay.
It's the father character in Bluey. In August, they arrested a 44-year-old Stephen Nielsen, who was an employee at the warehouse. This was an inside job. And Nasser Khan, also 44, who they say acted as his accomplice in the alleged heist. Police will now argue in court that Christina Vale was the pair's getaway driver. The gold-colored coins are known as Bluey dollar bucks, which is how money is referred to in the cartoon, dollar bucks.
Wait, so Bluey has his own currency like in the show? Or they're just called dollar bucks?
In the currency in the world of Bluey is dollar bucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I guess they were attempting to like replicate that in some form.
Yeah, was this supposed to be like actual currency, or is it just like some like, collector's
That's what I'm a little
item?
confused about. Were you going to be able to pay with these Bluey dollar bucks in Australia? Because that's kind of what it seems like.
Yeah.
Or were they just collectible?
Because what, it's like 65 cents per coin?
Something like
that's
that,
what it's
yeah.
saying?
Close to 65 cents, yeah. Or or 50p. What is that?
And it wouldn't be pounds, would it?
No.
Not pesos.
It says it's worth $1, which I think is the Australian.
Oh, and like it's worth $1 in Australia, but it'd be worth 65 cents here?
I think.
Okay.
We're not economics majors, Kade and I.
Simple podcasters.
Yeah. But It says the coins feature images of characters from the show. The hit series about the Healer family of dogs is made up by Brisbane-based animation firm Ludo with BBC Studios and the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation being where I said the government side of this thing comes into play. Bluey has been a huge international success, it says, and is now broadcast in more than 60 countries, including the UK, US, and China. It was streamed for more than 20 billion minutes on Disney Plus in the US last year, putting it in the country's top 10 streaming programs for minutes viewed. Kids be loving the TV. There are more than 150 episodes of Bluey across 3 seasons, but they're all, Kade, this is the downside. They're all like, most of them, with the exception of specials, are like 2 minutes long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if your kids are like, I want to watch Bluey, you also then have to train them how to work the remote so that they can press the next episode button, which I promptly did with my 5-year-old. Otherwise, every 2 minutes, they're going, Daddy, Daddy, another Bluey. And you're like, God damn it, I can't get anything fucking done because of Bluey. So you need them to be able to know how to put the next episode on. It says a Bluey-themed interactive experience is opening in Brisbane next month. The stolen coins are different from a collectible set of Bluey currency that caused a frenzy when it went on sale by the Royal Australian Mint in June this year. Maybe they should just stop making Bluey dollar bucks.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it's not going super well.
No, clearly not.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what, dude, imagine being like just Breaking Bad and deciding you're going to live a life of crime and your heist idea is to steal 40,000 limited edition coins based on a hit children's television show called Bluey.
Yeah, no, they got set their aim higher than that. That's, I mean, I guess you start small, but I mean, they didn't even get away with it. So
40,000 would have been like.
Also, I feel like that'd be so hard to
recirculate, get your money out of.
Yeah,
that's how I always wondered with like stolen paintings. Like, what are you gonna do with that?
Like black market, I guess, but like
who's buying 40,000 stolen Bluey coins?
Yeah, I don't know who you're gonna get to buy that unless you're like some big super Bluey fan.
And it says New South Wales police said they had been previously selling online for 10 times their face value. Was that the 40,000 stolen coins that they were then putting online and then they were selling for 10x? Like I have a lot of confusion around the story, but on the whole, it blew my mind that somebody took that much time and energy to steal 40,000 Bluey coins.
Or I guess just like the company that was making them was, or like,
pre-listing them,
or like someone was like buying them. I don't know how people were getting them, but like, and then like they would sell them online and like they get for like 10 times their value.
That's crazy.
And then they're like, oh, we could do this, but like, steal like a bunch of them and not
before they even come out though.
Yeah.
They were 2 months from release. Anyway, they got caught.
Yeah.
So, wonder if I can get my hands on some of these Bluey dollar bucks. Are they going to go back into circulation? Can you use them to buy stuff? We've got questions.
You have questions. Yeah, if we have any listeners in Australia, hit us up.
We know you're out there.
Yeah.
Because we went viral in Australia that one time. What was that for? Oh, smoking tobacco.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Backy cones?
Backy cones. Yeah. Fucking Australia.
Fuck Australia, mate.
The holiday season is officially upon us with Halloween tomorrow, Thanksgiving around the corner, Hanukkah, Christmas, all of it is coming. And with the holidays come a marathon of gatherings with family and friends. It's easy to forget to take care of yourself during all that madness. Whether you forget to take a sip of water during the office holiday party or start feeling parched after a long day of traveling or hosting, keep Liquid IV on hand to stay hydrated through the holidays. Today's episode is brought to you by Liquid IV with convenient packets of their hydration multiplier or sugar-free hydration multiplier. You get 8 vitamins and nutrients, 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, and no artificial sweeteners. We are Liquid IV fanatics here at Bolin Media, have been for years. We use it to stay hydrated. And we've got a box with like 60 packages of Liquid IV in there sitting in our storage closet that we pull out whenever one empties. They're perfect for when you're traveling, before or after workouts. Kade drinks them before big nights out. I often drink them before we record our show. They are delicious, and if you struggle to stay hydrated, they're going to help you out big time. Liquid IV is as easy as it gets. You simply tear open one of their little convenient packets, pour it into 16 ounces of water, shake or stir, depending on your preference, and enjoy the hydrating power of Liquid IV with a refreshing beverage that tastes fantastic. Taking care of yourself is important. Keeping yourself hydrated is a vital and crucial part of taking care of yourself, and Liquid IV is here to make sure that hydration is easier than ever to achieve. If you're like me and you're sometimes too busy or too forgetful to remember to drink enough water, Liquid IV makes getting your daily hydration in simple and more delicious. Tear, pour, live more. One stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone, powered by LIV Hydra Science, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients. Always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Stay hydrated through the holidays with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code ROSS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code ROSS at liquidiv.com. You can find the link and the code and the details in the description of this episode. So this past Sunday marked 7 years sober from alcohol for me. And as I do every year, I'm going to take some time to speak on that because, frankly, I should have quit well before I did. And the lesson of recognizing and cutting something out of your life that isn't serving you, that isn't helping you, that is making you feel bad or worse, applies to much more than just alcohol, than just drinking. And as everyone in recovery knows, the first step is recognizing that you have a problem, admitting to yourself you have a problem, acknowledging that this thing, in this case alcohol, is an issue for you. Booze was a problem for me for over a decade before I finally quit. Started drinking in high school, but started drinking way too much in college. And then that lifestyle, just partying and binge drinking, carried over to my post-grad life in my early 20s. I started having panic attacks at 21 years old when I was still in school, pretty much every time I was violently hungover. And that should have been my sign to stop drinking right there, but I did not listen. I was not willing to acknowledge that what was happening to me was as a result of my own behavior, and I carried on getting shit-faced for 9 more years before my life finally got to a place where I was so miserable and making others around me so miserable that I really had no choice but to quit because I was just a fat, unhappy, and directionless turd out there who needed to make a change for a chance at happiness. And it was admittedly not an easy thing to walk away from. I didn't deal with like the physical withdrawals that a lot of alcoholics do, but the social withdrawals were miserable. Like, that was the only way I knew how to be social. It was the way I started being social in high school, with high school parties and house parties and whatnot, and then in college with my fraternity and all that entails. And I didn't, like, in post-grad, going out to bars every single weekend. It was like the only thing, it was the only real social activity that I knew how to do. And I did it very well, and I fucking loved it way too much. But so that was the biggest challenge for me, the social side of it. So much so that I actually relapsed. The only relapse I ever had was like, I want to say between 3 and 6 months out from the first time I tried to quit. I made it like 3 or 6 months. I went to my cousin's wedding and I convinced myself like, okay, I took a few months off. I got a nice reset in there and I'm pretty sure I'm good now. And I remember at the wedding being like 4 champagnes in, and I was like, oh man, this is quickly, I'm just like right back where I left off. Like, and I could tell people were looking at me like, oh God, he's doing it again. You know what I mean? No. Like it was immediate. Like I was right back in that zone. And that's when I realized like,
and like, cause you hadn't been drinking in a while, like
it was hitting me, dude. Yeah. My tolerance was gone.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh fuck yeah. And I was a monster. It turned me right back into that person that I didn't want to be. And that was, that was the sign for me, like, okay, I'm done here. Because immediately I was back to like drinking way more than I should have been and was experiencing all that anxiety and misery that I had experienced before I quit the first time. So on October 27th of 2017, I finally said, like, fuck it. I'm done. This is not working for me. I've tried my best to see if I could like find balance here, and it's not happening. And my mental health is in the toilet. My relationships are in the toilet. And I'm miserably unhappy. So I started going to AA meetings around the corner from my house a couple times a week to get started. And that was like, I did not think I was an alcoholic. I didn't like admit that. I said it in the meetings, like you have to when you introduce yourself, like, hi, I'm Ross and I'm an alcoholic. But I didn't really buy into it. I was like, nah, I just love raging.
Love to
you know
party.
what I mean? But like the more time I spent in those meetings, the more I realized like, oh, okay, like I definitely had a problem. Whether I was an alcoholic or not really isn't the point. I had a problem with drinking. And going to those meetings, I always tell people who are trying to quit, like, they're like, what can I do to like get started on the right foot. I'm like, go to AA meetings. Even if you don't want to go long term, even if you don't want to join the program and work the 12 steps and get a sponsor, I didn't do any of that shit. But I went to the meetings, and it was an extremely helpful experience for me to like see what the stakes were, because there are people in there that have struggled with alcoholism for their whole fucking life, or that have been sober for 30 years or for like 3 days. And you'll see on their face, the message is pretty clear cut. Like, you see what people put themselves through. And like, in a lot of cases, these people were going through way worse shit than I was, and were drinking way more than I was. Like, I was never a person who drank every day. But when I drank a fuckload every single time. Like, I maybe a handful of times in my life had 1 or 2 beers and then stopped. I never liked that. It never made sense to me. I wanted to get drunk. I thought that was the whole point of drinking. So going to those meetings gave me a lot of perspective and experience, like third-party experience from listening to other people speak, so that I realized how much worse things could get for me if I kept going. And also, hearing from other people let me recognize that it was possible to like change, to really change who you are and change your behavior and change your life and find happiness again on the other side. And after the fact, like, my social life is completely different than it was before. And I lost a lot of friendships that were centered on alcohol and drinking. Like, there were people that I thought I was close to that I realized after, like, our only bond was getting fucked up. Like, we never talked about anything that mattered. We never did anything that mattered. We just got shit-faced. And that was fine. It was people that I miss still. But, like, those relationships were destroyed when I took the one thing out of my life that made those relationships possible. And it was incredibly challenging for that reason. But the truth is, like, 7 years removed, I've never been happier. I've definitely never been healthier. Maybe I was healthier when I was, like, 9 years old, when I was a small boy. But starting in high school through 30 years old, I was not nearly as healthy as I am now. And that is in large part due to one simple change, just cutting drinking out of my life, because that change spurred me to make a number of other incredibly impactful changes in my life. It made it possible for me to grow beyond a lot of the trauma from my past and the self-loathing and the negativity that had held me back for so long. It made therapy like a real tool for me, because until I let go of drinking, there was no way I was going to be able to like go into therapy and work on me, because there was this huge block. And it opened up a whole new world for me. I would not be anywhere close to where I am today if I was still drinking. Quitting was the best decision I've ever made, because it enabled me to make all the other best decisions I've ever made, like made me available to experience love and life and become a real husband and a dad and a boss. And I'm incredibly thankful that God put me in a position to change so that I could unlock all the blessings on the other side of that. As hard as it was the smartest thing I've ever done. And I hear from people all the time who say they're struggling with drinking and they don't know what to do. And the beauty of it is that if you're reaching out for help, even to me in the form of a DM, that counts. Like, you've already done the hardest part. You've recognized the problem. You've realized you need to make a change. Now the only thing left to do is get to work. And because life is too short, man, too beautiful, too full of promise and potential to waste it all being drunk and miserable. And like, deep down, I knew for years that I was unhappy and that something was wrong, and I just kept fooling myself into believing like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm having fun. I can still operate like all these other people. It's fine. I'm going to be fine. And it wasn't fine, and I wasn't fine. And it just took forever for me to finally get to a point where I had no choice but to admit that to myself, because like, my health was so shitty. My relationships were so shitty. I had to do something. And my point in talking about this today is like, you don't have to let it get there. I've always been the type of doofus who shit has to get to rock bottom before I'm willing to make a change. That's the way it is for a lot of people who are built like me, and a lot of people who are in AA and Narcotics Anonymous, like addicts. You don't have to do that, though. You don't have to beat yourself to a pulp before you make a positive change in your life. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are capable of doing this and have done it. They never end up becoming an alcoholic, like a traditional alcoholic. They realize they don't like drinking or that it's not for them, and they quit. And that is a real thing you can do. It will not be easy, but it's a hell of a lot easier than going through all this suffering to get to a point where you're finally encouraged to change. So after 7 years, I am living proof that you can change. You can move on. You can find infinitely more happiness on the other side, even if it does take time. And I used to look back and like 6 months to me used to seem like a fucking eternity. Like I remember when I quit drinking, I got to like the 3-month mark and I was like, fuck. Got to the 6-month mark and I thought that was so much time. And now, 7 years removed from that, like 6 months goes by like this, bro. Like it's a snap of a finger. It's nothing. And you can start to stack good days and good weeks and good months and good years really, really quickly if you're willing to put in the work and make the changes necessary to be a better version of yourself. And I hope anyone out there listening or watching who needs that one last like push to finally do what is best for you takes today's episode and uses my story to their benefit, because at the end of the day, that's the number one thing. It's about you and taking care of yourself and giving yourself a chance to be happy. And for a lot of years, my problem was I didn't like me very much. And I didn't care if I was happy, and I didn't think I deserved to be happy, so I didn't put myself in a position to be happy. And it's the one regret I have, is that for too long, I used these excuses and I used like this self-loathing to power what was really toxic behavior, and I hurt people and I hurt myself more than anybody else, and it sucked getting to the other side of that and realizing it. And still to this day in therapy, on occasion, I'll like uncover some shit that was like a behavior or a habit that I established when I was drinking, and I'm like, well, fuck, got to get rid of that. And it is so easy now, once I identify it, to like make a change, because once you do this for yourself, once you cut something out that is like, in my case, was like the center of my life, and you completely rebuild, it makes any change you decide on so much easier, because you've already been through a brutal version of that. So just wanted to make sure I spoke on that a little bit today, and I appreciate the audience. That'll do it for today's show. Kade and I will be back later this week with an ad-free premium episode of all new content available exclusively on patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast. Hit patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast today. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial where it's free for 7 days, if that wasn't clear enough. You can check out the hundreds of exclusive ad-free episodes we have put up there over the last several years. We've got interviews. Jared's mom is on there at one point. Cypher PK is on there. Brandon Rankin, the law dog, our de facto attorney here at Bolin Media, is on there.
Might have to hit him up.
Yeah, you might need to talk to him about this situation with the Austin ISD ticketing you from a bus camera. But there's a shitload of good content on Patreon, and you can access it for free for 7 days, so you don't have to just take my word for it. Like, some of those episodes are the best we've ever done.
Got the Stripper Kade stories.
Stripper Kade sagas on Patreon exclusively. Great stuff. Patreon.com/Ross Bolin Podcast. Get in there, enjoy the 7-day free trial, and then stick around to support our show and be a part of making sure the show can go on. Also, please support our sponsors every week by hitting the links in the description of the episode and using those dedicated codes. We've got fitbod.me/Ross for 25% off your subscription, or to try the app for free. And also liquidiv.com, code Ross for 20% off your first order. Those are our sponsors today. Please use those codes. Please hit those URLs. It goes a long way to making sure we can stay in business here at Bolin Media. Check out our other shows as well. If you're an F1 fan, Jared J-Bone Borislow brings you a new episode of Formula Bone every week, or for the most part every week. I think he does every week, even during the
when they don't have
the little
races,
breaks. The only weeks he's taken off this year were for like a wedding or travel. But every week there's a recap and a preview of your latest race and your upcoming race in the world of F1. If you're an F1 fan, you will love Formula Bone, the finest American-made F1 content in the world. You can watch on youtube.com/@FormulaBone. That is where most of the audience exists. He has over 150,000 subscribers now. But Formula Bone is also available on the audio platforms as well. If you're a Houston sports fan, check out Banging the Can, my Houston sports podcast. If you've ever wondered, like, wow, Ross really stopped randomly bringing up the Astros, Rockets, and Texans on RBP. I'm so thankful for that. Well, the reason I was able to do that is because finally I was like, fuck it, none of these people care. I need to make a Houston sports show. That show is Banging the Can. Check it out wherever you get RBP, also on YouTube and all the social medias. If you're watching The Penguin on HBO, which is a great show if you're not watching it, We're covering it episodically on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles right now. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles, otherwise known as OCC, is our TV and film podcast here at Bolin Media that me and Barrett Dudley have been doing since 2016. Started out as a Game of Thrones show. We really enjoyed doing it. Now we cover all different shows when the Game of Thrones universe is out of season. We're doing The Penguin right now. We're having a blast with it. It is a lot better than I thought it would be, frankly. And we've got 2 episodes left there. And then in November, we will be doing Dune Prophecy, which is like 10,000 years before Paul Atreides, where the Bene Gesserit are being established for all the nerds out there. Yeah, you love that shit. I get to bring the Dune popcorn bucket back out.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that's huge. I love that for you guys.
I know. Me too. I'm very stoked on that. I miss that thing, being inside of it.
The Dunussi?
Yeah, the Dunussi. So that's what we're doing on OCC right now. Check out Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at WRBolin. Mr. Kade, where can the people follow you?
You can follow me on all the social media platforms at Kade Orris. That's Kadeorris.
Send him a DM if you've been ticketed by a bus and let him know how you handle it, or if you have to handle it, or what the hell that is.
What the hell I need to do, because I really do not want to.
Can we countersue for emotional distress? Because he was distraught.
I was going
as a result of this. It's a month worth of car payment they're trying to charge him for pulling up next to a bus as their fucking stop sign comes out. Follow RBP on all the social platforms as well. This episode of RBP is presented by Bolin Media. Video of today's show was produced by Kade Orris. Go to youtube.com/@the_Ross_Bolin_podcast to see that video. Appreciate those of you who are watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment as well. Until next time, remember, you are not alone. Peace be with you, and also with you.